Hey everyone, how you doing? Jeff here. I am so excited to be with you guys today. I am kind of sick of my bedroom, but I still really love my children, which is awesome, right? It's the best way to be. I hope you guys really love your kids too. Hey, a little bit on style today as you're coming in to the workshop right now. There's a few things I want you to be aware of. One, we're going to cover a bunch of material. We're going to cover a bunch of material because today and this time is so critical for your business. So you've probably been on a bunch of other Zoom calls. I hope that they weren't too boring. My goal is not to be boring at all today and to really engage you and give you a lot of information because it's very important that you work very hard on your business and developing relationships right now. You've never had an opportunity like this, and it's actually really sad and really tough, but you can turn it into a positive if you want to. So very excited to do that. I am going to talk in this accent, and yes, Jay, I am going to talk quite fast and I am going to move quite quick, but hopefully you've got the worksheet handy so you can take notes as you go. Really excited to do that. And at the end, if you want my slides, stay to the end and say that you want them, and I'll get them to you. And I'll also share a bit more about some really fun stuff that we're doing. Is that okay? Put yes in the chat box if that's okay. Or yeah, just give me a big yes. That'll be great. Put yes in the chat box here. Yes, 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 yes. Sharon, not able to download the link. Could you go to your email? I sent it to you via email. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool. Everybody seems prepared to be interactive. So I sent you an email this morning, I believe, Sharon. So the handout link, scroll up and click on it too. See if that Google link I put it in a couple of times will work for you. If anyone else is able to go to that link and then get it and share it in here, that would be super helpful as well. All right, but I got to keep going here. So just take notes if you don't have the handout and draw it out as you go. That's totally fine as well. But I don't want to take too long here in the original time. So let me know what industry you're in. I think most people are in real estate, but there may be some people who are in other industries. So let me know in the chat box so I can help you guys a bit more. What industry are you in? Real estate, real estate, real estate. That's okay, Lanita. I think I got it, but you can just help me in the chat box. That'll be great. Real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate. Anyone in a different industry? I know we have some people coming in from different industries. Hey, Dahlia. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Joshua, Michelle, Tina, Vicky. Hey, very cool. Okay, Lanita, I made you a panelist, so you'll be able to speak now when you need to speak. Very cool. All right, so a lot of people in real estate. Just tell me roughly how affected in terms of percentages by this crisis is your business? Would you say it's like 10% affected, 100% affected? How affected are you by this? Just because everybody's in a bit of a different boat. 10%? Anyone else? What kind of percentage are you being affected by? 75%, massive, I know for you, Tina, where you are in the world. Anybody else? What percentage have you been affected? Like, would you say I'm 50% affected, 50%, Greg? I've seen you've been doing some closings, it's been great. Really, and saw you won an award of some kind too, incredible. Anyone else? 30%, 30% affected, all right. Cool, so a lot of people still have some ability to operate. What we need to understand is that most people have been seriously affected in terms of your clients, potential clients, etc. Very cool. All right, moving right along. What do you need most right now? Which one of these things do you need most right now? So just let me know. Do you need clients, a plan, virtual strategies, accountability, or something else? So Lanita, I'm going to try and unmute you as my assistant here, and you can read some of these out. What are people saying that they need most?
All right. Okay. The A through D, all of the above.
Got it. Okay.
F. Yeah.
A through D. Yep. How are you this morning, by the way?
Better now that I'm on here.
Cool. All right. What else do people need?
I'm not A and C. Clients and virtual strategy.
Okay. Cool. Anyone else? What do you need right now? Because it helps. If we know what we need, then we can get it. And if I know what you need, I can help you today. So all of the above, huh? Very cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'm seeing the panelists' responses.
Okay, cool. So yeah, if you,
Something.
yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say something else.
All right. Innovation strategies. So when you reply, so Lanita can see too, could you put what do we do with my listings as one, innovation strategies, but when you reply, click all panelists and attendees so everyone can see what you guys have to say. That'd be awesome. So, and Lanita can see too. Clients, I see people need clients right now. Going to share some interesting stuff about that. So very cool. All right, let's dive into it. If you have the worksheet, that's great. If you can't find it, look in your email. One question, yes or no, a very silly question, of course, that on the 1st of January when you created your vision board, if you did you put global pandemic in it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Was global pandemic there? No, no. Tina says no, no. I'm not saying no, no, no. Shit, everything changed. What, we can't control everything with our vision boards? I mean, dang it, right, Anne? Dang it. I mean, this is like really like groundbreaking stuff. So we have to reimagine what we're going to do. If we keep grinding our way through it, trying to get what we had before, it won't work. But if we reimagine things, we might actually get more. And that's what I want you guys to really think about today. So here we go. Also, if you need the worksheet, go to the events in Facebook, in the large Facebook group. I posted a link to the worksheet there. So this is the worksheet that that most of you should have in front of you right now. And we're going to talk about 9 secrets to building a hyper-virtual business, because I really want you to succeed. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to grab a triangle. And the first one with fair paradigm written on it. If you don't have your worksheet in front of you, just draw a triangle out like this. And I want you to think about these things. First thing is, right now in the fair paradigm, in our mindset, what we have is we have a lot of uncertainty. I don't know when my kids are going to go back to school. You probably don't either. I don't know what's going to happen with the market. I don't know if I'm going to get paycheck protection. I don't know how long we're going to be locked down. I don't know how long the market's going to take to recover. I don't know so much. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty is part of fear. We like to have things that we are in control of. And don't worry, we're going to get to the good news in a second. The next thing that's part of the fear paradigm that goes on in all of our minds to some degree or some level or at some times is that we can surround ourselves by watching too much bad news or just thinking too much about, it doesn't have to be TV news or reading CNN or Fox or being on social media or looking at the graph charts from the World Health Organization. Doesn't have to be that kind of news. Could just be conversations you hear going on. For example, I was walking around the street a couple of weeks ago and I heard 2 older business owners outside the bank saying, yeah, it's going to be like a month and then we're going to be done. And they were like having this session about how bad things were, right? And that's normal because there is a lot of bad news. So that also makes us very afraid and can paralyze us. So I want you to think about the conversations you're having both with yourself while you're watching media, but also with other people, and also just the thoughts and the anxieties that you have. And then lastly, the last part of the fear paradigm, we just want to destroy this before we start. That's why I'm putting up there, is victimhood. So often what happens is we get, look, all this stuff happened to us. You had your beautiful vision board at the start of the year and you forgot global pandemic. Damn, as Tina said. And now all this stuff is happening to you. You didn't plan for it. You didn't do anything wrong, but it happened and you feel kind of powerless. That's what I mean by victimhood. Well, what I want you to do, if you've got that triangle in front of you, is I actually want you to just like grab that piece of paper and I want you to tear it up. I want you to get rid of it. Can you do it? Tell me if you've torn your piece of paper up. Tell me when you've done it. I want you to tear it up, because that's not where we're going to be today. So once you've torn your piece of paper up, tell me, yeah, Jeff, I tore it up. It's on my iPad. Do not tear your iPad up, Tina. That's funny. Torn it up. Good stuff, Vicky. Anyone else? Tear it up. Crossed it out on the tablet. That's a good idea, Mark. Awesome. Awesome. Remember, all panels, torn it up. Good. Keep tearing it up. That's great. We want to get rid of uncertainty. and we want to replace it with some things. We want to get rid of all the bad news. We want to replace it with some things. And we don't want to be a victim to this. We want to be something else. I'm going to share that now on your second worksheet here. What you'll see is, oh, here we go. So let me just say this. If you're doing all these three things, then you are really red lighting success. It's going to be really hard for you to succeed in this time because so much bad stuff has happened to you. You're so uncertain and you're surrounded by bad news. It's going to be really hard. So what we want to do is we want to replace some of these things. So instead of having a fear paradigm, this should say success paradigm at the top. But instead of being uncertain, we want to find confidence. And confidence comes from having a plan. So coming on a call like this, hopefully I'll give you a plan, things to do that give you a sense of confidence, right? And then we want to actually start creating good news stories. When you do something else for somebody good, that's good news, right? There's a lot of good news stories happening out there. There are a lot of people providing solutions for others in a time of need. That's good news. And so instead of watching the bad news and consuming a lot of bad news, we want to stop consuming and start creating good news solutions. That's you. I want you to start creating good news. And then lastly, instead of, if you remember, this has been a victim, we want to show leadership. And if you can do this, if you can find confidence, start creating good solutions for people and leading your sphere of influence through this time, make a massive difference in your business. Starts with the mindset. Does that make sense, guys? Put yes in the chat box if it makes sense. If it doesn't, tell me, I don't mind. Yeah, what are we seeing there, Lanita?
Yes, yes, yes. So far, all yeses.
Okay, good. All right. So if we have confidence, that's a green light. If we can start creating solutions for people, we'll look at what those solutions could be today. That's a green light. And if we can start creating leadership, that too is a green light. And that is what will help you take a massive leap forward. We're going to look at the 9 secrets here coming up that's going to help you do all those things, because that's what I want for you. So why a virtual pivot right now? And I think that's really important to really unpack why a virtual pivot is super important. And really, I will talk about the vision board and how everything's changed. And obviously, you know everything's changed. My wife and I had plans to go to New Zealand right now and tour around with our kids and show them where my dad, his ashes are scattered by that bench there. It was this beautiful, beautiful story. Now we're stuck at home, right? And everyone else is stuck at home. And we have to change because the change has been forced on us. And the flexibility is what's going to be really important. Also, people are stuck at home right now and their behaviors are changing. And we don't know how long they're going to be stuck there. But if we keep on with our old methods, we're not going to connect with them. And it's likely that things like virtual solutions are going to become part of our daily life more and more and more. They already were going to become that, but this pressure is really sped it up. So you want to be the realtor or the acupuncturist or the coach that's really good at creating virtual solutions for people to make everything fast, safe, and virtual and easy for them. And that's what we want to work on, because it's probably not going to go back. So this time it is a chance for you to really work on your business. So let's look at understanding the pandemic paradigm. So you should have this worksheet here. I'm going to race through some of this a little bit. Just pulling up my chat again here. Yes, that was part of the success paradigm. I had a title wrong. I was racing. Thanks, Lanita, for grabbing that. All right, so let's have a look at this paradigm. Now, you've seen these graphs from me before. This is a different one. So right now, real easy to feel like in the fear paradigm, we kind of put this in here, that doors are closing on us. Opportunities we had before aren't there. If we're not working out of a success mindset, that we're losing traction. We had all this momentum. Things were going so well. And then March 1st or March 12th hit and we were done, right? And we can feel like we're sort of sinking. We don't want any of this. This is all bad. It's all red lights. It's because of these things that we talked about. Don't draw this in to your graph. We're going to draw in the good news. Uncertainty and victimhood, right? This is the bad news kind of paradigm put in the model, and we're going to lose if we stay that way. So when we make a HyperVirtual pivot, though, you won't lose. And that's the good news of today. I'm going to show you how you can actually win. So we're going to pull out losing, and we actually look at what do you need to grow, which is what we really want. We're going to pull out bad news. We're going to replace it with creativity and creative solutions and good news. We're going to pull out uncertainty, and we're going to replace it with confidence. Okay. And you're going to start drawing these ones in, and we're going to pull out leader. We're going to pull out victimhood, and we're going to replace it with you being a leader of your sphere of influence. So start to draw those three things in the center, because when you are confident and creative and leading people right now, it's just a void of leadership, right? There's a void of creativity. There's a void of confidence. But when you create it, you can really do some interesting things. The first thing you can do, or one of the first few things you can do is you can increase your market share. So down the bottom there, when you're confident, you're leading people, you're creating, whatever business is still happening, you're going to get far more of it, a greater chunk of it than you were getting at the start of the year. And as things improve, you're going to get way more as well. So that's why you want to be doing this right now, because everyone else is pulling back. And if you push forward in a productive, creative, sound, safe, innovative way, massive growth for you. So the 9 secrets for success, this is what we're going to talk about today, go along the outside of the wheel here. So the first thing I want you guys to have, and we'll talk about this a little bit today, is a lead protection plan. Everyone who was going to do business with you, all your clients, everyone in your pipeline, we want to protect them so that if they do business now, they do it with you. And if they do business later, they do it with you. And if they tell anyone else about the business that you do, it's you they mention, right? So you want to really protect those people right now. Got some interesting stories about that. Then 2, we need to take a marketing pivot, very important. And then we also need to take a HyperVirtual product or service pivot, right? And so these 3 things will really increase your ability to grow your market share. Number 4, you really want to get really good at video and increase your ability to connect with video. Right now, we can't see real people, so we want to see people on video at the very least. And there's a number of things I'm going to share with you about that. 5, virtual conferences like this, Zoom conferences. We got to get really good at doing them well. People are overloaded from Zooms. You can't be like sitting in your chair, boring people to death. It won't work. 6, a revenue pivot. I think we're going to develop some new revenue streams from this. Going to share a tiny bit about that. So in terms of building for the future, the 3 things are getting really good video skills right now, getting really good at video conferences, really confident, really dynamic, having a structure that takes people through them, makes them feel really safe, doesn't bore the crap out of them, checks in with them, is engaging, is interactive. And then 6, the revenue pivot is next. Now, in terms of creating lifelong referral partners, massive right now. You can create so many referral partners and work so much relationally because people are so disconnected and they're stuck in their homes. So 7, community leader. This is a chance for you to lead the community and be known for that for years to come. And people are referring you because you were so helpful. 8, very important that you have relational goals right now. Very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to atrophy because you have this more time available. You've been thrown off your plans and you get kind of stuck. So want to have relational goals. And then 9, I think there's a chance to take a partnership pivot and really form some strong referral partners with other leaders in your community. Does that all make sense so far? Put yes in the chat box if that makes sense. I was going to say give me a thumb, but we're on a webinar, not on a meeting, so I can't see your thumbs, but you can give me a thumb if you want. But yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah, team, good. What else are we getting?
Yes.
Yes.
This is great stuff.
Cool. All right. So some of you guys know that sometimes I work with traffic lights. I'm typically a rule breaker, so I shouldn't work with traffic lights because I'm learning to be good. All right. So firstly, what I'm going to ask you guys quickly is I want to find out where you're at, and I've got some we'll put in sort of the group results as best we can as we go. So what I want to know is, just so you are aware, red light is bad, orange light is okay, green light is good. So in terms of protecting everyone in your pipeline, do you have a plan on how to do that right now? Green, good. Orange, kind of. Red, no. What are you? Red, green, orange. What are you seeing, Lanita?
I'm seeing, orange, red, yellow.
I love the yellows. I think we are around there, though. I think we're around orange, so we won't take too long with that. But I want you to all these 9 things. super important to help you make a pivot and really take a leap forward right now. In terms of your marketing pivot, like, do you have a really solid plan on all the messaging that's going out that isn't like your old messaging? And I want you to think about your website messaging, video content you're putting out there. Like, how good a plan have you got to take to lead people through this? Are you green? Yeah, I totally got this. Orange, well, kind of. Red, I don't have a clue what's going on. Totally okay with you. What are you?
Orange, orange.
Seeing a few reds there too. Orange, orange. Anyone else? How do you think you're doing in terms of increasing your market share? Jumped ahead. I'm orange and red on everything. Nice, Sharon. Very cool. Okay, well, we will move nice and quick too. So let me not put that up there yet. What about in terms of a HyperVirtual product? Like, are you able to, have you really gone through your whole process, if you're in real estate, for example, and made sure that it's as virtual as possible and really humming? What are you? Green? Yeah, we totally like, we're not just doing Zooms, but everyone, there's this whole system in place. Yellow, it's okay. Red, terrible. Seeing some reds, some yellows, some green, orange. Yeah. What else you see?
That's it.
Keep them coming, people. Really important. Okay. Yep. All right. So we're about an orange. Okay, moving on. Video skills. How much do you love video? How good are you at green, orange, or red? Video. I know, scary. Green, red. Hate it. Red, 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 red. Okay, you know, I feel like this one is always going to be between red and orange. So, and we've got one there from Jackie. So let's say a bit of both. People have been forced to get better at it.
Greg has a face for radio.
Well, Greg, everything we talk about in terms of radio, I don't believe you, but everything we talk about in terms of video, you can also do via audio as well, or different ways of doing it, even writing. So you have a beautiful face, Greg. I don't believe that for 1 second. What about virtual conferences? How good are you at running Zooms right now? Are you, it's not just having a Zoom link, but are you red, orange, or green? Keep them coming. Green, love it. Red, green, green for meetings. Orange, kind of this weird hybrid, you know, I think orange. Never done a webinar. Well, webinars are different, but we can get you there. Green for just a participant, not for a host. Well, yes, you're a great participant and you know exactly what to do, but we're talking about like running them for your clients, etc. So I think an orange is fair here. What about a revenue pivot? Anybody developed additional revenue streams because they own the relationship so much? Red, nothing. Orange, some. Green, red. Okay, what are we seeing here?
Red. Red.
Okay. I'm aware there's some silent participants on the call. If you could please put your things in so I know where you're going from, that would be great too. I know some people find it a little hard to participate, but if you could, that'd be great. Red. Okay, so pretty much red here. Okay, in terms of community leader, are you really leading your community in local Facebook groups, in like providing for people right now? Are you red, orange, or green? I know it's hard. We've got to find a virtual way to do it. Red, orange. What are you seeing?
Orange, red, red.
Yeah, so we want to talk a little bit about this because you're orange to red here, but the potential for you to be renowned and known for years is really powerful, right? When things are really shitty, we remember that one friend that stuck with us. This is a metaphor. We remember everything they did and we do anything for that friend for the rest of their life. I've had some situations like that recently where I've remembered, man, that person really helped me out way back then. I'm going to do anything I can to help them. So really, like, you can make a big difference in a large number of people's lives right now. What about relational goals? Every day, do you know and have clear goals? This is what I'm doing relationally. I'm growing in these different areas. I'm going to make these number of phone calls. I'm going to send this number of emails. I'm going to create these numbers of referral partners, these numbers of Facebook messages. Where are you with that? Put red, I am sinking. Yellow, I'm doing okay. Green, I'm killing it.
Yellow, orange, orange. Yellow.
I know
Yellow.
I,
Yellow will not be denied.
red to yellow. I'll go red here. I don't. Yeah, but we'll talk about that a bit more. In terms
Hard
of,
to
yeah, go on.
hard to tell how well received.
Right. Okay. Well, we need to have some metrics for that. That's really important to know. So many people's heads are in the sand, right? It's hard to get them out. And that's why you have to really deal with the sand that their heads are in to talk with them. And so we need to talk about that. So true, Bonnie. Such a great point, and we want to talk about that a bit more. Thank you. Now, in terms of partnerships, are you partnering up with other people in your community to solve problems for people, like a homeschool teacher or a cooking class person? I know we have Alexis in our group trainings who does who's a chef, or are you just trying to muscle through on your own? So red, no partners. Orange, some. Green, I'm just working with all these people all over the city to help. Where are we at? Nice. Starting with Alinda.
Orange, red.
You know, we're orange to red, but we'll leave it there. All right. So, guys, what we want to do is we want to talk today about each one of these things. And we're going to focus on, we're actually going to focus on three that I think are the most important, and just talk very loosely about the other two, because we don't, you don't want to be listening to me all day. Although I do have a very good accent, I agree. But what we want to talk about, number one, is we want to help you make a marketing pivot with your messages so you are relevant right now. And then we also want to help you, and you should take some notes on this sort of stuff, because I think no one else is teaching this as far as I know. And then two, we want to talk about video skills right now. I'm sorry, you might not hate it. You might hate it, but Greg, we've got to get your face ready for video. And then that's a joke. And then lastly, the last one we're going to talk about here is relational goals, because I don't want you sinking. So does that make sense, guys? We're going to talk about one, taking a marketing pivot, two, video skills, and three, relationship goals in a bit of depth. The others we're just going to briefly touch. Put yes in the box if that makes sense. Yes, yes, yes. I'm curious too. Once you put your yes in, I'm just really curious as to what's the most interesting thing for you so far. So I'll give you 20 seconds to put it down in the box. Like, what's really interesting for you? You read those out, Lenita?
Yeah, relational goals, marketing pivot, lead protection plan. Let's see, video skills. Yes.
Jackie, BBN. Oh.
Oh.
I was like, is that be right back? Spelled wrong?
Lead protection.
Got it. Yep. Cool. That's very important. Going to help you a bit with that today too. Just a tiny bit, but yep. Okay. Very cool. Now, no worries. Don't apologize. It's fun when people that's the thing. Today's all about making lots of mistakes. If I put the camera down, you'll see I wasn't wearing any pants. No, I'm wearing pants. So we just talked about what's been most impactful so far. So let's just get stuck in. This is a rugby photo from New Zealand. I used to play in mud like that. Man, it was fun. So increasing your market share, that's one of the goals right now, is to increase your market share. Three parts we just talked about: lead protection, marketing pivot, virtual product pivot. So we're going to talk a lot about the marketing pivot and just briefly touch on the other two. So you have your worksheet here. So you would put those secrets in your worksheet at the top there: lead protection plan, marketing pivot, virtual product pivot. Okay. So curious, how much of a market leader are you guys right now? Are you new, small player, average, like you have an average amount of the market? Are you a leader, or are you the dominator? Hey, 16 people on the call right now. That's awesome. Where are you? Okay. What are we seeing?
Average, small player.
I'll go back in a sec, Sharon. Thanks. 3.
Average. 3+. Huh?
So here's the thing.
Okay.
In ordinary circumstances, my goal would be to say to you guys, you got to be like the leader or the dominator, or you're not really winning as much as you would like, right? That's what I normally say. But the crazy thing about the world right now is it really doesn't matter where you are right now. By taking an authoritative position, by being creative, creating solutions and solving real problems that people have, you can take a massive leap forward, and really start to lead the market, because so many people are afraid. And so that's just like, the possibilities are really, really huge. So let's just go back to the slide here for Sharon. So lead protection, marketing pivot, virtual product pivot. Those are the three we're going to work on, and you'll write them in your worksheet, okay? So give me like 10 seconds to write those down. Yeah, Bonnie, I'm strong for my clients, but not for people outside my sphere, right? I think a lot of people like that. So it's a great chance to grow your sphere, and we're excited to be working with you on that. All right. Okay. So we went through this. Remember, the playing field is more level than it's been for a while. So let's talk about the lead protection plan. Really important. Don't want you guys to lose any of the people within your pipeline. Just a quick story. Christine, who's a member of one of our other trainings, had somebody shared the story a couple of times, but you might not have heard it. Called some people 3 weeks ago, just crappy internet leads, to be honest, she thought. And they said, hey, we found another realtor, but thank you for calling us. And she has a way where she checks in with people first. She's not just cold calling them, which I wouldn't encourage you to do. She's care calling them and then finding out where they're at. And so she did that, and she said, okay, I'll put you on my do not call list. Got an assistant in the meantime, and told the assistant, look, I want you to call this list of people, but do not call that list over there, because they might not like it. And the assistant made a mistake, and she called the wrong list. Those two people who had another realtor, first thing they said to her was, thank you so much for calling. Our other realtor has completely disappeared. And so she got 2 new clients from that mistake, the good mistake of continuing to connect with her leads. And so we're going to work through some stuff a little bit in one of the other areas, but I want you to think about and have an approach where you call people up to find out where they are, and you have a plan for them no matter where they are. Whether the plan is wait, whether the plan is while you wait, work on this, whether the plan is you're immune compromised, no way you should be moving properties right now, that's a fine plan. If their plan is, hey, I still want to go ahead, you have a way to do that that's fast, safe, and virtual. So we want to be able to meet people wherever they are at in a way that is safe, etc. So very important right now that you have a plan for lead protection. And I'm sorry, I can't talk more about that today, because we want to talk about some other things too. Now, in terms of virtual product pivot, clearly you can't do your business necessarily in the same way you could do it before. If you're a hairdresser, you can't maybe even cut my hair in California, but you might be able to teach me to cut my hair, show me how to wear a headscarf. You might be able to show me how to style my hair, dye my hair, trim my beard, sell me product. There's still a lot of stuff you can do, but you have to change the way that you're operating. And really, that's what you really want. And so one of the things I want you guys to think about, for those of you in real estate, in terms of creating virtual systems, you're really good at qualifying the client, say qualifying the buyer, because you don't want your time to be wasted. It's been wasted too much in the past, and it's been frustrating. So now you qualify the buyer up front. One of the things I want you to think about is, how can you qualify the house as well? So that when you take someone through a house, you are 85 to 90% sure, both of you, that you are going to put in an offer. And we really want to have a system in place and help you develop a system where you are qualifying the house. Because if I get taken through 6 houses in one day and they're all completely wrong, you have not just wasted my time, you've potentially risked my health. In my mindset, whether you believe that or not, I might, and a good significant portion of the population will. And so that's really bad for your brand and really bad for your business. And so what we want to figure out is, how can we be more certain when we take someone into a house that they are going to buy it? And we want to go through your whole process, and from getting a lead to closing, so that it's as virtual as possible and really, really smooth. And you have structures in place that make it so easy for the client. Now, that's all I'm going to talk about in regards to the virtual product pivot. Wish I could spend more time on it, but I want to talk more about the marketing pivot that you guys all need to make right now. And I'm really excited to talk about it. So you'll notice on your worksheet here, there are 3 key points, and I'm going to outline those 3 key points, and we're going to talk about that here specifically for the marketing pivot. And then we're going to talk about things you might want to implement now. So we want to make some changes and not just listen to Jeff talk in his beautiful New Zealand accent. All right. So 3 key points. I'm going to talk about each point for a little bit, and you can put any notes down that you need to. What I want to encourage you to do with your marketing pivot right now is not to have selective amnesia. I'm curious, who of you have seen any online ads or online marketing or TV ads which seem to have amnesia, like they don't even know that there's a pandemic going on and that people are stuck in their houses? Like, it's like business as usual. If you've seen those ads, just put yes and tell me what you thought when you saw them. I'm curious. What did you think? Have you seen any of those ads on Facebook or anywhere? What do you think, Tina?
Tone deaf.
Right. It is.
Uncaring.
Right. Right. Right.
Self-serving.
Right. These are interesting. If you guys can see them, we're seeing things like I saw an ad about saving money at the movies. Yeah, I'm saving a lot of money by not going to the movies. Greg says, yes, shake my head. Mixed in with pandemic marketing, not bad. Okay, right. If it's done in the right way. So the overall narrative of messaging coming from one person is really important. If you're all about like, hey, guys, take advantage of the opportunity, you'll never like that. That will seem bad too. So what we want to do, though, I think a good metaphor, Bonnie, you mentioned like people have their heads in the sand. And the immediate thing I thought of was, hey, I'm at the beach and my head is in the sand, literally, like I'm stuck with my head in the sand, and you're trying to sell me an ice cream. Like, no, that's not what I need. I need you to grab my legs and pull me out of the sand, and I'll probably pay you like, I don't know, a good amount of money to pull me out, right? And so our marketing wants to help people get their heads out of the sand, not to sell them an ice cream. And I've seen some really prominent people, very, very prominent people advertising on Facebook just the way they were before this happened. And the comment threads are fascinating because people are saying, that's irrelevant. Why are you talking about this, right? And so it's really, perception is very important right now in terms of pivoting to grow. Now, everyone has different views about the pandemic and the lockdown and all that. I'm really aware of that. But what I want you to be aware of in your marketing is that people have very different views on it. And you want to not alienate people by seemingly being tone deaf. So that's number one. That's the first point we want to talk about. And just a couple of things as a metaphor. Again, if my house is on fire and I'm trying to get my family out and you knock on my door and you try and sell me a vacuum cleaner, I'm going to put that vacuum cleaner somewhere very painful for you because I'm going to throw you down the stairs too because I just want to get out of the house, right? That's my goal. And so don't be tone deaf in trying to sell people their dream house right now, because that language could be really, really troublesome. So I'd be curious, what's an old marketing message that you guys have used? Just like you used it last year, you ran an ad. What's some of the language that you used to promote a property? Just put that down there. I just want you to see from your own words whether they might not be relevant. What are you waiting for? Are you right? Yep. Would be a troublesome message right now. This will sell fast, right? Troublesome message. What would some others be? I mean, some of the opportunities, no more rectangular checks. Read some out there too, Lenita.
You could buy a house for the same price as your rent. Rent checks.
Close to school.
Close to school.
My house is very close to my school right now, Greg. In fact, it's the same place, right? Right. Really interesting. And so fascinating stuff. I mean, hilarious. This is an investment property. I don't know whether that would work or not. Maybe mostly it wouldn't do. Walk to shopping.
Walk to shopping.
Yeah. Close to restaurants. Right. Pretty funny stuff, really, when you think about it. And so, I mean, it's laughable if you were to keep the same messaging. And that's really my point. And so we want to reimagine the messaging. So survival versus growth, what I want you to understand here is a bit more of the marketing. So if you imagine here that this triangle contains all your people, all the people in your sphere of influence, and there's a waterline. And unfortunately, in our world today, and sometimes it's us, or has been in the past, there is survival mentality where we're just trying to stay above water, right? And most of us market our businesses more to aspiration. The investment property you've always wanted, close to schools, right? That's aspirational. I want to be close to my school so I can have the perfect life, right? It's going to save me time. I'm going to be able to concentrate on other things, right? So this is where we mostly focus our messages, above the waterline. Does that make sense? Give me a thumb in your camera, even though I can't see it if it does. But now what's happened really is the waterline has risen quite a bit for a lot of people, at least in their minds. At the very least. And so they're not really thinking about growth so much. Everybody is thinking about survival. And so with our marketing, the marketing opportunity comes from addressing fears and frustrations. And so, for example, I have a luxury realtor, Jennifer, we work with in Boulder, Colorado, sells really expensive luxury. We went through a dangers listing, getting her to list out her dangers in a session that I did with her. And she said, well, honestly, most of our clients aren't really in that much danger because they have a lot of money, and some of them even shorted the stock market, which is not so good, right? But they don't have that. She said, so really their biggest fear is missing out on the opportunity to change their situation. So for them, they're like, if this lockdown happens again, I want to be in a house with a home gym and a swimming pool. And so that's like what they want. That's the selling point for them. So it's different for every market, but we're more thinking, even those people are thinking about a frustration or a fear. I don't want to be stuck here in this, not being able to exercise, right? It's definitely a first world problem, but they live in the first world. So of course it is. So we want to start thinking about our marketing messages in terms of addressing fears and frustrations and not so much about growth. Great marketing involves you entering into the conversations that are already happening inside other people's heads. And so you want to get really good at that right now. So that's the first point that we just gave you there. The second key point for marketing pivot is it's about contact and not content. And this is something really fascinating to think about. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And so, for example, it's a slightly funny story. I have an elderly lady next door to us. She's slightly immune compromised, and the person who shares her stairwell with her, it's a duplex, has been in and out of hospital and is quite sick, and her family keep coming up and down the stairs, and it's like scaring my friend Terry because she doesn't want to get sick and she's scared, right? And so what I've been doing every day or twice a day is I will go and I will get some Clorox wipes and I'll wipe down the handrails for her up the stairs because she likes to take her dog for a walk, right? Now, the truth is, Terry doesn't use the handrails. She doesn't. She walks straight down the stairs. But what makes a difference for her is the contact, knowing that there is another human being out there that is taking care of her. The thing I do isn't really making a difference, but the contact is. So what we want to not get hung up on is it the right thing to do right now? Is it really going to be helpful? If you're just taking care of a human being in a virtual, safe, easy way, then that's great. And so that's what we want to start looking at doing. And really, when it comes to contact, there are really 4 things you want to be doing right now with your marketing. You want to be connecting with people where they are. You want to have empathy and provide comfort. You want to be creating a sense of community around them. So if you have a Facebook group or a community group you run, you want to really elevate the amount of sharing that's going on in that group, and you want to be creating a lot of consistency. So those are the sort of 4 things that you really, really, really want to be focusing on. And I won't get into them too much right now, but if you think about it this way, it's really the sweet spot is where they all intersect. So your marketing messaging right now and all you're doing on social media and all that sort of stuff, you want to be connecting with people and providing comfort and creating a sense of community. And you want to be doing it really regularly. The regular part is important because it provides leadership. So I'm curious, like, what ideas do you guys get as I'm talking about this paradigm in terms of messages you can put out there? What is, the comfort part is really important because you don't want to be just giving them information, but you might be connecting people together via a virtual Zoom call, but maybe it's a different kind than you're used to. So what ideas do you get? Because we're all smarter together. I'd love to know what you're doing. Cool. I'm seeing morning brew, coffee at 8 a.m. every day with a few people. It's growing, right? This is the contact that we missed. We would go to a coffee shop via Zoom. Nice. Lanita, are you there? Greg is...
yes, I am here.
Read some of these. They're pretty cool.
Okay. I haven't done anything because I haven't had any original ideas. That's why you're here. Yes. I offered something, providing a list of services such as food pantries, farmers markets, and resources to apply for the government stimulus funds. Just sending that out to people.
Right. And you know what? That's something that could be updated consistently so people know, to like an email list. This is what's happening. If you need this, this is being delayed, but this is still happening. Keep reading. Reaching
out to vendors who are still open and posting an elevator pitch.
Cool. Promoting vendors that are still open to help them. Great.
Considering posting something positive a few times a week, reaching out to local restaurants to share what they're doing for specials.
Right. Perfect. Like you're promoting and helping other people. You're leading the community.
Ask all my friends and all my clients if they need help. I am here. I've taken pop-bys to everyone in my neighborhood, letting them know that I'm here if they need anything. I live in a 55-plus community.
Right. Great ideas. I love the asking part, Dahlia. I think that's really important as a first point of contact. So when you look to protect your leads and you're calling people up, really it's like, what do you need right now? Hey, I know the world's crazy. What do you need? And they're like, well, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but you really want them to talk a lot about what they need. It's really important. You guys are amazing. There's a lot of like great ideas here, but there's connection, community, comfort, and consistency. Not really trying to sell them anything really, because you won't be in that, you won't be in that sweet spot for your messaging, which is, am I connecting people together? Is this creating a sense of community or good for the community? Is it a comforting message? And am I doing it consistently? And so we just talked about some of the ways you guys are already starting to do this. We want to elevate it way more because really right now it's physical distance with social closeness. And so we want to be using technology and a virtual pivot to create a real sense of social closeness and community. And not many people are very good at that. And that's what I love helping people with. 3, a cohesive and integrated messaging strategy. This is the thing I'm really proud of. And I want you to know that your business is a puzzle and only you have all the pieces. And my daughter sometimes will put all her jigsaw puzzle pieces together and then try and do the puzzle, but they're pieces from everybody else's puzzle. And it doesn't work, right? It's too hard. And so what we want you to do is to create a strategy for your own market. Like someone mentioned 55 plus community, your strategies will be vastly different than maybe Sharon's in a different place, right? So it has to be your strategy. And so we want you to have a roadmap that speaks to your people. And so here you go. I want to just play with you here. So imagine your people are here and imagine that you are down here. What we want to do is we want to first, Bonnie, head in the sand. Remember, you mentioned people have their heads in the sand. Well, we want to understand why they've got their heads in the sand. People put their heads in the sand because they're afraid. That's typically what they do. And so let me just pull the chat up so I can see you guys as you're chatting. Put that title up again, please. Which title was that?
That's number 3, this title.
This title here. Okay. All right. So what we want to do is we want to first, with our when we're creating our marketing messaging, So we're wanting it to make contact with people, and we're wanting to have a roadmap that speaks to your people is really important. But we want it to make contact. And if you want to make contact with people, you have to know where they are. And so one of the things that we're looking to do with people is, and our clients, is to say, what are the 3 biggest dangers that they feel right now? Let's figure it out in advance. Not necessarily asking them about it, but listening at the very least. What are the biggest dangers for you? So someone in mortgage, someone in real estate, for David Wiley, who we're working with, his clients' biggest dangers were mortgage viability, income in terms of his business, not sure if they're going to keep their job, and losing equity in their home. Those were the 3 things they're worried about. So we want to start the conversation there in that case. Those are the dangers. For some people, it's more risk than danger. Like they're just worried about this or that. Then other people, it's about opportunities they could miss. So we want to really understand at least 3 things that people are most afraid of right now. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to understand in our marketing messages the impact that it's having on them. And so mortgage viability, what's the impact, both the actual impact and the emotional impact. So those are the 2 things that we're looking at here. So the emotional impact was someone who was about to get a house and then they changed the credit score, it went way up. They can't get a house right now because the limit or the level went right up. What there is, they feel stuck. They had this dream and they feel stuck. That's the emotional impact. The actual impact is they think they can't buy a house anymore, right? That's the actual impact. They were on this journey to buy it and now they can't. Okay, so we want to know that, because when you're connecting with your leads, you want to understand the dangers, you want to understand the emotional impact and the actual impact, so you can have a really good conversation. We'll get into this a bit more in a second, but then you want to know how you can help them. And so when you're thinking about your marketing, you want it to help people with the dangers, risks, and missed opportunities that they're feeling. So imagine, for example, a video that deals with, hey, I know that you're worried about mortgage viability right now. You had this goal of buying a house, and you want to kick the walls in your, I'm joking, but kick the walls in your house, in the house you're renting, because you're so frustrated and you feel really stuck. Well, here's what you need to do. You need to get information from a lender about a new pathway forward. So let's get you meeting with that lender, right? That's a great, helpful piece of content. It's not selling them at all, because it's dealing with where their heads are in the sand. So we want to do that for all your clients. Find the dangers, understand the impact, and then create videos or ways of helping people. And the videos are great ways of doing this, because then these people just roll down that hill straight to you and you won't have to go looking for them. Honestly, it's exactly what I've done for you guys. And so here, I got rid of the dangers, understand the mindset, then got rid of the dangers here and put the benefits, right? And so, yeah, right now, your business could be sinking, or you could build it for the future, right? And so what I want you to imagine, and we'll talk a bit about it, is what it would look like to build out your own business model, marketing model here, using what I have done for you. It's going to be different for your own clients, but then you have all sorts of content that you can create. You can do an overall like market view video, or you could do little videos here about like one point. Like I can do a little video for everybody about the importance of running really powerful virtual conferences right now, or a video about a short video about why improving your video skills is really important in today's market if you want to build for the future. Or if you want to increase your market share, you got to protect your leads right now. You got to go after them, right? So there's all sorts of content that you can create right now when you have an established model. Does that make sense? Or have I confused the crap out of you? Let me know. Put yes in the chat box if it makes sense. And would you like to have your own model? I'll be curious, like as clear as mud. That's my South African friend. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, he's joking. Yes, yes. Okay, so would it be good to have your own model? Yes. Need help with the model and plan? That absolutely you do, and we'll talk about that a bit at the end. Absolutely. I know you were already going to help you with it, Tina. So that's totally fine. That's one of the things that we've got to do. We call it a virtual fix. So we want to look at the dangers people are feeling right now, the impact that it's having on them, and then create solutions on video. That's the virtual marketing fix that members of our case study program are going to go through. honestly, when you do this right, the best feedback you can get is someone watches your video and they say, oh my God, I feel like you were talking just to me. And it's like really, it's really fun. I'm sorry I did that in a funny voice because I was impersonating someone that did it to me. But that's what you really want. You want people like really connecting with them, okay? So we talked about increasing your market share. You want to protect your leads so they'll never work with anybody else. You want to have a marketing pivot where you are like clearly speaking to the dangers, the risks, and the missed opportunities they're feeling right now. And you want to pivot your services or product so that you are able to deliver them fast, safe, and as virtual as possible. If you do that, if all you did was that, you guys would really do pretty well, but I want you to do even better. So that's what we looked at on the sheet here. Now, what's one thing you've learned that you think you might implement? Here's some options for you. So just pop that in chat because I don't want, again, just Jeff to be talking in his cute New Zealand accent or not cute New Zealand accent. So just put in like one thing that you think that you might implement that might not be on this list, might be something else, but put that in chat. Love to know what you're thinking. I'm just going to do a time check here. What's one thing that you're going to work on? Okay, we're doing good. 30 seconds.
Cohesive marketing strategy. Get good on video. New messaging. Video. Video for the win. Add virtual
video
product.
definitely for the win, which is good because I think it's the most important thing that will help you right now. So really, really good. I see cohesive strategy, new messaging, call all prior clients. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's all sorts of other ways you can connect with them too if you've got a huge number and you want to keep it quick. All right. Okay. Very good, guys. So let's move on to number 2 here, which is building for the future. So some of this overlaps a little bit. Keep your comments coming in, but when building for the future, we want to talk about video skills, running great virtual conferences, and maybe developing some new revenue streams, focusing mostly on video skills, which is good because that's what you guys want to work at. So these are the 3 things that you would put in your worksheet: video skills, secrets, running really good virtual conferences, and revenue streams. So put them in your worksheet right now. Let me know when you've done, if you're going to do it. So just say, yep, I'm done. Cool. COVID care calls. Love that. All relational. Call all prior clients. Brilliant. Okay. But yep. Mark's done it. I'll give you guys 10 more seconds. I was aware that last time I moved a little too fast. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool. All right. So how much of a video master are you right now? Put down, I'd love to know where you are at in this. Are you like a never videoer, face for radio like Greg? That's his language, not mine. I think he's got a television face. Where are we at?
Foreign. Okay. Never.
Natural. Nice. Awesome, Dahlia. I love that. 3. Greg is okay. And of course he is. He's just a big tease. Okay, 2. Anyone else? I just want to see from some people who have been keeping pretty quiet on the call. There's like 10 people who are really active, but another 5 who are just like silent participants. And I've got
Sporadic, but doing more.
Cool. Let's give you 10 more seconds. I'm waiting for you. All right. Anyone else? Where would you be on this scale? There's one more person. I know there's one more person. I feel like an American televangelist. There's one more person out there who's going to give me an answer here. I know you're sitting there and you're almost ready to type 1 or 2 or 3. I know you can do it. 3. 1. Okay, Bob. I got you, Bob. I'm so happy. Woo! Woo-hoo! All right. That's so funny. All right. So really, if we were to traffic light this, pardon me, I got so excited I started spraying the keyboard. Never, too much information, yes. Never, foreign, okay, love it. So really, I think what we want to work really hard on is doing it so much that it's as natural as breathing. And if you're there, you're going to have a huge jump over your competition because most people are terrified of it. And that's okay, but you're terrified of it mostly because it's foreign and you're not used to it. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And so that's one of the goals. I can't get you to a 5 today on a Zoom call when you're not shooting video, but I want to encourage you to use this time, which you'll never get again, to get really good on video. So 3 key points that we're going to talk about as we go through this. So firstly, we're going to talk about, sorry, not key points, but 3 elements. Virtual conferences. Who is feeling Zoom overload right now? Not with mine, I hope, but with lots of Zoom calls. Who feels like way too many Zooms? Me, yes. Oh my goodness, not another Zoom call. You know, right? There are some of you are doing too many of them. In other words, you're not leading them, you're a participant in them. And you might be leading too many too. But if you're a participant in too many, then you're actually procrastinating and you're avoiding creating solutions and making phone calls and leading people. And that's a problem. And hey Becky, how you doing? Good to see you on here too. Yep, Tina, I'll see you tomorrow. That's great. And so what we want to make sure of is that your Zoom calls are the ones that people really want to be on if you're doing them, because there's so much connection, comfort, consistency, and the other one, community connection, comfort, and consistency. You want yours to be the ones that everyone is looking out for, because just having a Zoom account is not going to cut it. So you want to be really good at getting great at virtual meetings. And there's all sorts of fun stuff that we're going to teach actually in another teaching around using music and getting people more engaged. And when you're in a meeting, getting them up and around, like there's so much fun stuff you can do. Getting them sharing and connecting. Revenue streams, just going to touch on this really briefly. So what you really want to know is if you can really own the relationships right now and going forward, this is more like building your business for the future. So it might not work yet, but it will work in the future. For example, if you had like a list of 5,000 people who thought you were the greatest, most charismatic leader of your community, and you knew everything about real estate, but right now people can't buy a house, but they're really interested in their financial planning and getting things secure, then you could partner up with a financial planner as a kind of affiliate and really, because you own the relationships, help a lot of people and make a new revenue stream from it. So there's all sorts of different ways once you own the relationship that you can develop new revenue streams, which when you think about it would be very helpful if there was another pandemic to have additional ways of earning money. So being a really flexible business model is really, really important. So let's talk about video skills now though. Let's get into video skills. 3 key points to make about video skills that you can write down on your worksheet here. Number 1, contact, not technology. People think I don't know anything about technology, and that really bothers them, and they don't do a video even though they have a piece of equipment in their hands like their phone, but they could send a video in like two minutes. Let me tell you a story here. Excuse the photo. This is not the actual gentleman I'm telling about. Once talked to a real estate professional on the phone who told me he was the best at video and that he was doing so much video and he was having huge success. And I was quite impressed. And he told me about all the equipment he had because he had such great equipment. And he said, could I send you a video? And then he sent me a video. And unfortunately, on the video, he was, a reasonably decent sized chap, no judgment. But he was wearing a shirt that was too short and I could see the bottom of his belly, quite a lot of it. And he was about 10 feet back from the camera and he was mumbling and he was on a busy street corner, but he had a fancy camera, right? But what he could never change with his fancy camera is his ability to connect and to make contact with people behind a screen. And it's very important that you understand this now because people are not very fussy right now in terms of the background, the kind of camera you have. What they really care about is, are you connecting with them? Because we all expect everyone to be in their bedrooms. I'm in my bedroom right now doing a Zoom call, right? We expect that. We expect people to be, for things not to be perfect, but we want them to be real. And so right now, speed and connection beat high production values. And, you can't really get a fancy camera crew into a house to record it. An incredible video, and like it's too with a nice interview set up with lights of the people that are selling the property, whatever it is, it's too intensive and it's not really going to happen. But what you can do is you can be really fast in replying to people with video, and you can connect really strongly with them through your ability to communicate. Nothing really about the camera, it's just the conduit. So all you need is your cell phone and a laptop. That's fine. The video paradigm looks like this to me. Number one is there's sort of 3 types of videos that you can do. And so I want you to think about these going forward. You can do one-to-one videos, which is like sending somebody a video message on Facebook Messenger or on via text message. You can do community type videos, which are like the ones that I think Greg and Mark might have talked about, where they create a video that promotes a local business. Or you can do work teach videos, like the ones we talked about with that model where we're saying, hey, you're worried about your mortgage, totally get it, it's terrifying, you're feeling stuck, you're about to get a house and now you can't. You know, what you really need to do though is understand that some things are actually still possible, and you won't have clarity and peace of mind until you actually talk to a lender and reimagine what this looks like. So that's more like a work video. But those are the 3 different types of videos that you can think about going forward as part of your marketing. I would do all 3 types, but the one that forms the immediate bridge from me to you is a one-to-one video. And for example, I just sat in my group the other day where I've got like 80 case study members, and I just sent every single member a video message personal. It took me like 30 seconds to record each one, 30 seconds to a minute. And I got a great response from it. Hey, it's Jeff here. Hey, I'm stuck in my bedroom. How are you doing? Listen, you know, I want you to know this, this, and this, and I care about you, and we're doing these things to help you. Let me know if you want more information about it, but please just like know that I'm thinking about you, right? Really quick, I touched base with 80 people via a video message, and I spent 2 hours, maybe 2-3 hours doing that with breaks. But that was like personal one-to-one messages that nobody else is sending. Very few people are sending video messages. So a great way to connect. Second point, it's not about, first point, not about technology, it's about the content. Secondly, create for emotion. Now, whenever you do any kind of video, teaching video, community video, one-to-one video, it's obviously much easier. What I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're talking to one person that you really care about on the other side of the camera. It's literally what newsreaders do when they read the news. They don't imagine, hey, I'm talking to America. They don't do that. What they imagine is I'm talking to my auntie at home on the couch, and I'm going to tell her about the story and this thing that's happening. And what it does is it creates resonance for people. And so everyone watching it feels like you're talking just to them. So as you're going through your week, if you feel that somebody has a certain problem, know that other people have that problem too, and create the video specifically for them, but don't use their name or anything like that, obviously, but project that it's for one person and it will resonate with everybody. Get really careful with scripting too much on video. You want to have a structure, but scripting in our minds has got us so close to like sales that it's going to resonate really bad. So you want to understand that it's totally okay because of the world we live in to be unsure of what you're going to say for a while, to look away, to, oh yeah, I got it. This sort of thing is totally fine now. So natural is better. Also acknowledge your surroundings. Totally fine to do this. You should do it in any video you do. There's nothing worse than being on a busy street and not acknowledging it. So you can't really hear the person completely, or there's a lot of background noise. But if the person says, hey, I'm just walking, not that you're going to do busy street right now, right? Okay, bad example. But if you were in the future on a busy street and you're like, hey, I'm out and about on the street, I'm going doing my shopping, and I just thought of you. And I want you to know that I really care about you, this, and this, be like a one-to-one message, but you've given context. And so you can have a lot of fun right now with, hey, I'm stuck at home with the kids, and the kids like pulling you off. Whatever it is, chance to be really real and relational. Because in a game of paper, scissors, rock, you guys don't know this because it's a new rule. Real beats professional every time. It's an unknown rule. Like if you're ever playing paper, scissors, rock, pull out real. I figure it's most like the rock, kind of clobbers a pair of scissors. And actually, I don't think paper ever beats a big rock. I think that's a myth. So I think rock wins every time, and rock is real. Okay, so number 3, when you're talking about video, structure for solutions. And this is what we talked about here. So I'm not going to go into too much depth with it, but we really want to work through the dangers, the impact, and the solutions that you have. And there really are three basic types of risks and dangers and missed opportunities that people are having right now. And you want to mix up your messaging so you're not about one thing. So one would be like real estate, or if that's your business, a work-related danger, mortgage viability, income issue, worried about income, losing equity in my home, those kinds of things. So you would create videos about that. Then there are also like personal challenges that we all have, like how am I going to keep my children alive for this next little while, right? Or like homeschooling, how do you homeschool? You might have like 3 tips, 3 things I found out about homeschooling. Or there might be community issues, like or community videos, like these people right here at the moment, I heard they don't have food, so there's a group of us who are going to do this and give them that, right? So there's all sorts of different types of videos, and we want to mix up the variety so that you're really leading us through it, through everything, through work, through personal challenges, through community, bring community together. These things create leadership, not victimhood. These things will elevate your presence in the community. Does that make sense? I know I'm covering a lot. Put yes in the comment, but really pain to promise narrative that is tangible. So really have actual things that people can do. It's really important. So make sense, everyone. I know I'm working pretty fast today because I'm trying to cover a lot. We got one more thing to do, and then we'll get on with the rest of our day. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool. Everyone else makes sense? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so when it comes to video, what I want to know is what are you going to implement right now? Of all the things we just talked about with video, we covered a bunch really fast. Which one of these could you commit to implementing right now? Go ahead and pop that down. Awesome, Dahlia. Awesome, Becky. Which one would you implement right now? I'll give you 10 seconds, 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 7, 6, 5. What have we got there, Anita?
Worry less about professional, less pro, one-to-one, more video. Worry less about professional videos. Just do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of like one-to-ones, or just do it. So I think that's great. So lastly, we talked about building the future using video, partnerships, and virtual conferences, a little bit, those two. I really want to talk today about lifelong referral partners and community leadership and partnership pivot a bit too, because I think right now there's a massive opportunity. So these are the 3 things that you're going to write in your worksheet. Let me know, yes, when you've got them written in: community leader, relational goals, partnership pivot. These are the things you really want to be working on right now as you stay at home. So just put yes when you're done writing them down. Anne had to bounce out, totally fine, Anne. Right, Becky, hard to be professional when you've got kids running around, so don't try, otherwise the kids may not survive. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Cool. Anyone else need more time? Written those down. I'll wait for 2 more yeses and I'll keep going. Yes. Yes. Remember, I can give you the slides at the end if you want them. All right. Cool. All right. Very good. So how well are you using your time right now? Just in general. Give me a last survey, I promise, pretty much. Are you 1, paralyzed, 2, poor use of time, 3, up and down, some days good, 4, good, or 5, are you laser focused? Let me know which one you are right now. Again, I apologize for the silly voice. 2, 3, 3. What do you see, Renita? What do you think?
I see a 4. Jackie wants to be changed to 3. She was 2.
Okay.
Up and down, up and down.
Right.
4.
It's really tough to be focused right now because our vision board got torn up and our downgrading to a 2, and our way of doing business has got ruined or wrecked a little bit. There's so much uncertainty and fear in the market. Bonnie, people have their heads in the sand. So what do you do, right? There's just a lot of it's troubling. And really, though, the only way to succeed right now is to use your time really well and be laser focused. And so what you have to do, and I don't really have a slide too much for this, we're just going to do a bit of talking here on this next section. That's interesting. I must have put these all green because what I believe is that you can make this change right now. And so that's what I want you to know, that whether you're paralyzed, poor, up, down, good, or laser focused, what I want to give you in this next little segment is at least a chart forward. Some of you already have it, which allows you to build relationally, because people are at home, they're on Facebook, they're on social media, other social media channels. People have never been more captive in terms of an audience. They're bored, they're anxious, they need help, right? And so we want to really turn this into a powerful time. So number one, what does it look like for you to be a community leader? Well, I want you to understand part of the virtual pivot is to use technology to lead. And if you don't lead right now, your competitors might, and you're going to lose your market share. So what does it look like to use the technology you have to connect to people within their homes and really make a big difference? Remember that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be an expert on coronavirus. You don't have to be an expert on the market. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And when people have their head in the sand, they're really blind. And all you need to do is help them get their head out of their sand. So simple messages, right? Simple messages like this for some people in my situation. Family, very simple message. I'm not a family therapist. I'm not an expert in anything. But what I could tell my friends is, dude, you are stuck at home with your kids for a long time. How do you want them to remember this time? Do you want them to remember as a time when dad was a grumpy old bastard? Or do you want to remember it as a time where things were really tough, but dad came alive, right? I feel like I got to know him in those few months in a way that I never knew him before, right? Powerful moments. Now, I'm just speaking from my own experience and my own challenges. I don't know everything about navigating a pandemic as a family, but I know what I know, and I can help other people. And so just understand that leadership isn't about you knowing everything, but the chance for you to be a community leader is massive right now. In terms of taking a partnership pivot, what I want you to understand is that these risks and dangers, like personal challenges, right? Like we homeschool, my wife is pretty good at it. She could put on a little webinar for all our clients who are also homeschooling and tell them some pretty interesting things like, number one, don't try and run school in your house from 9 till 3. At home, it won't work. It will drive everybody crazy. Instead, teach the kids as you go about your day, right? There's all sorts of things that she could add. So really powerful stuff. Number two, community. Are there people in your community that know things that could help others hugely? That would be really amazing too. And then number three, are there work-related things that you could get partnership help with for people like lenders and all sorts of stuff? Does that make sense, guys? Very cool. Hey, setting relational goals. I'm talking a little quieter because our neighbor, we share a wall and she's getting a little upset. So relational goals, 3 key points here that I want you to have for this. Number one, the opportunity has never been greater for you to build relationships with people. So don't waste this time. Accountability is very important. Encouragement is very important. So make sure that you have goals and you're checking in with people. How many phone calls did I make today? How many Facebook messages did I send? Did I send my video messages? Don't waste this time. You'll never get it again. And what you do with this time really matters right now. You know, there's an ancient prophecy a few years ago where they said that the biggest problem people would have was in the 60s, by the year 2000, was that technology would do so much for us, we wouldn't know what to do with our time. And it turned out that we just made ourselves busier. If I had told you at the start of the year that you were going to have 3 months at home or 2 months or a month, whatever it is, to work on your business, 3 months perhaps, where things would be slower, everyone would be stuck in their homes, you would think, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with all my time. And yet we fill it up with Zoom calls that maybe aren't as helpful as this one. So we want to really dig in and use this time really well. What you do now is going to really affect success or failure. And now you have the chance to build a huge number of relationships in a really powerful way. So I want you to do that. Number two, I want you to stay in a couple of places relationally. I don't want you to be all over the map on social media. I don't want you to be running from Zoom call after Zoom call after Zoom call, not building relationships. When you're everywhere, you're nowhere relationally. So you're better off to use Facebook and text, for example. and phone. That's fine. Facebook Messenger or Instagram and phone, whatever it is you use. So don't try and be everywhere or you won't win. So really like choose your platform and stick there. And then number 3, I want you to have tangible relational goals. I'm going to share with you some of the goals that we use in our major Facebook training case study program, because you still have control over all of them right now. So if you see this as like a success arrow, right now, you can grow your Facebook sphere. You can increase the number of people that know about you on Facebook, right? You can add friends if you have the right strategy. 2, you can also really increase your engagement if you know how to do it by creating content, really engaging content, getting people to share more, all sorts of stuff you can do there. So you can measure that. You can say, wow, my engagement's really gone up while I've been in the pandemic. Number 3, messenger combos. Like you can actually then take people and have private Facebook Messenger conversations, which mean a lot, and connect with more and more people that you didn't know before in a powerful way on Facebook Messenger. You can do this every day. And then number 4, as you move up, you can take those relationships from Messenger and move them offline to phone calls, to Zoom calls, to whatever it is. And by doing that, by leading people and gathering the sphere with you, by having good relationship goals, you can start to create partners. People who remember that you really help them in this time, that will do anything to help you and your business grow. Now, I know I'm whispering because our neighbor is kind of annoying, and I don't want a hole to come through the wall. But do you understand what I'm talking? Whisper yes in the comments. I know this has got very dramatic here. Can you put yes if you understand what I'm saying? I hope I'm not whispering too much. Lanita, are you there?
I'm here. Yes.
It's got all dramatic. It's like the climax of a movie. If you see someone come
So far,
and pull me over,
okay.
the neighbor. She's only about 5'1". She's as angry as I don't know, whatever. But people are pretty uptight right now. Yes. Yes, good. I'm still here, guys. I'm just whispering. I'm not trying to be sexual or anything like that. I know, I've got a very bad sense of humor, but that's just the way it is. All right, okay, so this goal sheet is something you guys should really work on, something like that. And I want you to have it. So 3 key points from working more relationally. What is it you're going to do right now? What are you going to implement that's going to help you grow your sphere of influence? You know, the transactional nature of your work, the circle or the ability to work in it might have got quite small, but the relational aspect, the ability to build relationships right now has never been bigger. So just let me know what that is right now. Choose my channel. Love it. What do you mean by percent, Lanita?
Oh, sorry. That was supposed to be something else. Sorry.
I thought it was genius. I didn't know what it meant. All right. Okay. So far, there's been no more hammering next door. Anyone else? What's your one thing? I'll give you 15 seconds. What are you going to do relationally that's going to make a big difference here? You might have already mentioned some of them. That's okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, cool. Here they come.
Continue to call. Choose my channel. Make calls.
Relational goals. What's your other, Dahlia? I'd love to know what your other is. Put that in. By the way, if I do get pulled through into the next house, Lanita, you'll have to take over the webinar.
Happily.
All right, work with Messenger. Great. Dahlia, I'd love to know what your other is. What do you think it is you're going to work on? Pop that in. I'll give you 5 more seconds. Bob, I know you're there now because you put your hand up before. What is it you're going to work on? If you're still with us, you may be smoking a big cigar. I don't know if you smoke big cigars, but it's kind of a joke. My last joke, perhaps, before I die, from Angry Neighbor Syndrome. All right, cool. All right. Okay, guys, hey, really cool. I really have 2 questions now as I wrap up for you guys. The first question is, what's one thing you can do this afternoon? I know, and maybe even getting late, but I'd love to know what's one thing that you can do this afternoon. Pop that down. Jackie, I'd love to know what okay, Bob, I won't whisper. I'm sorry. It's too much. I'll go back. You're trying to kill me? That's funny. What's one thing that you guys can do this afternoon? Send a quick video to clients. Yes, love it. What's one thing? Even if you just attend clients, it'd be great. Bob's one thing is not to whisper. Call a client I've been thinking about. Awesome. Yep. Perfect. Whenever someone comes to your mind, it's a good intuitive way of knowing. Video, short and natural. Bonnie, you'll be great on video. I'm excited to see you really develop that. Dahlia, work on my new marketing. Video, email, great idea. I'd love to see that. Put me on your list. Let me know what you've been thinking about. Let them know you've been thinking about them. A suggestion, fantastic. Love it. All right, keep them coming. And, you know, we would have looked at like 3 projects that will make a really big difference for you guys. Like you'll be thinking about like got video skills, got to have some relational goals, and I also want to pivot my marketing, right? Those 3 things would be huge, I think, for most people, but you can choose any of the 9 secrets that I shared with you. One of the things I'm just curious about, I don't know if you know, but we're actually launching a new case study program to help you hyper pivot. And it's really fun. I mean, we're starting kind of this week, and we have, I think, 15 or 16 people already doing it. And our goal is to really build out this whole model so that everything here is green, so that you are like pandemic proof, future proof, increasing your market share right now, building lifelong referral partners, and really building, you know, something that will last for the future. You know, really the structure of the training follows the things that I shared here today. Increase your market share. So we want to get a lead protection plan in place really fast. That's kind of the first thing we'll do, as well as a marketing pivot. Those 2 things we're going to be working on this week and next week, really, with people. And we want to build for the future, really improve your video skills, get you running really great virtual conferences. There's several different types you can do, and you've got to get the right one for each type. Develop some new revenue streams, and then really some accountability for relationship goals and building partners and leading your community. And for us, much like you, I think the goal is to help as many people as possible. So the first 5 people that want to do it, who are in, will get a free session with me where we'll build up your own marketing map. And I think your time to thrive is really right now. So if you want to do it, just put N in the chat box and I'll give you the details. N. Okay, cool. All right. N. Cool. N. Or N could be no, or it could be N. That's totally fine. Here are the details for it. I'm keeping a note of people who said they're N. It's a 12-week training that will work together, like one big session each week. It'll be available on replay. We'll get really good at these things. So if you click on the link there, it should take you straight to the screen to figure out the particulars. Basically, it's like either one payment of the particulars, which I didn't have a slide for. I'm not trying to manipulate you at all. It's one payment of $1,500 or 3 of $500 a month apart, but we want to really work together to make the most of this opportunity. So have a look at it. There's not a lot of like sales language around it. I'm doing this through webinars and conversations. If you want to talk to me about it, just talk to me about it, and we'll figure out if it's right for you. Because our goal, honestly, right now is a great opportunity for everybody to grow together, and just a really great crowd of people involved. So hit me with any questions that you have now before we go, if you have any, and then hopefully our neighbor will behave herself. Am I still whispering, Bob? I don't know if I'm still whispering. Could you tell me? I think I am. Thank you, Jeff. No worries. I really want to help you, Mark. It'll be great. This is the time to really make a massive difference. Any questions from anybody else? Hey, Lanita, thank you so much for jumping on. If there are no more questions, we will go. The other thing you guys can do, if you think you might want to do it, want to lock in a bonus, just send me a text message on this number and I'll keep that free session for you. And we can talk about it on the phone and see if it's right. I mean, no one's hard selling anybody right now. So we just want to be as helpful as possible. And I'll reach out to you all and see how you found it, see if I can help you anymore anyway. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the call. All the information should be there. Reach out to me via text if you have any questions and we'll go from there. Thanks so much, Lanita.
Thanks, Jeff.